me actually orient the screen this way. It's better that way. But, so I just wanted to do a quick video about my personal experience with technology. In case you couldn't tell by various, things I post and whatnot. I've been on the internet for quite a while. The strange part is I'm not even that old. So, what the hell happened there? Well, generally speaking, I had some, I do have obviously parents, I'm not I'm not an orphan or anything like that. There's a random dog just barking. Thank you for that. Whatever. Yeah, if I get too close to him, I'll just, go ape shit. Great. Yeah, I'll actually go the other way for a little bit. But, before, I get too angry at the dog, I'll just say, I had parents, obviously, like any other person does. Even, orphans, it's kind of a natural part of existing as both a human and as most other species, unless you're, I don't know, fucking bacterium. But generally speaking, the issue with them is that my dad was working and my mom was kind of insane. To summarize, to make a long story very short, therefore what ended up happening is, actually, I'll sit down here. Actually, I don't know. I'm just gonna put my jacket. I can't really put it anywhere now, can I? Because it's the forest floor, and as Wilhelm apologist often says, Patrick Gacy eats grubs off, eats grass off the forest floor, whatever the fuck he said. I don't really care. But generally speaking, I've been on the internet since I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. I'll leave it up to you to decide how long it's been since then. I'm not going to give away my age, but, it's been a while. And the issue is, I've kind of grown kind of tired of the internet, at least how it is now. And part of it is, the internet's constantly chasing the younger demographic of kids, basically, which is very unfortunate. They shouldn't do that, obviously. And, generally speaking, I think I came in at right the exact time where sincerity died. It was basically right at the tail end of the sincere internet. One where certain things, controversial or not, could still be discussed. And that's why I used YouTube since at least on account since 2017. That's when I created my first account. And nowadays YouTube has a lot of rules that you can't discuss certain things that they don't like. Now, I'm not arguing here that it's, bad or good, but I am arguing what it does mean is that a lot of the, edgy people, and, I didn't like them at that point, although I did like I liked old Lemon videos for whatever reason. And, after a while, I kept adapting to the modern state of YouTube. But at this point, I must argue, there's really no reason I should keep adapting. Maybe it's just me getting jaded, which could be the case. I don't really know. But it's kind of weird that I'm getting jaded now with the world. Generally speaking, people don't really get jaded in my age. Again, I won't reveal it. But, they tend to be more rebellious. Again, it does kind of give it away, but, whatever. Who cares? They tend not to be more jaded. They tend to be the opposite. They're youthful, rebellious, all that. But, I'm getting more and more jaded because YouTube, the place I used to love, going to find new stuff, generally speaking, just isn't that way anymore. It just fucking sucks. Really. There was once a time when I could go to, YouTube, I could search for whatever I wanted, and generally speaking, there'd be at least one, I don't know if it's political. Another reason is that people have just gotten very lazy, but not but not even with soul. Previously, lazy videos would just be some kid, like what I used to do, recording his, shitty YouTube videos with webcam. Basically what I'm doing now, except even worse. It'd be just pointing at their fat, disgusting face. Well, whatever. But after a certain point, the issue became that, people didn't want to watch that anymore. So now what I consider lazy content is, generally it's generally content that you just sort of, or videos that you want just to sort of get doped up on dopamine, and you know, it doesn't really serve any fucking purpose. And that's basically 99% of content on here nowadays. A lot of it is still, or really, like, not necessarily the stuff that's like, you know, or really 90% of the popular stuff, yeah, popular videos that people watch are that way. Mr. Beast really did do very bad things to this platform. Like PewDiePie, you know, love him or hate him, he at least had soul to his videos. You know, the issue is, of course, you know, Mr. Beast really didn't after a certain point. Like, his original videos that he used to make, I would actually argue were pretty good. Like, I don't know if I'd call them great or anything, of course not. But, you know, they at least had soul to them. And, you know, nowadays, nothing really does. Not even really just YouTube at this point. Like, every social media platform has become dog shit. And I think part of it is that, you know, I don't know. I might end the video here. It's like over 6 minutes. You know, and I don't want to go too far in depth. So just, you know, take what I've said as you will. I'm really just recording this to see if anybody likes what I have to say. Probably not. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.